In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. So this is our last session, and I will try to be very brief. I would like also to benefit from Professor Benny. So very quickly, I want to share with you some of the ideas that help me understand that dialogue is very good, but it's not enough. We human beings are supposed to talk to each other. We are not wolves or wild animals that if we speak to each other, we say, oh, that's good, we speak to each other, we are not fighting. To talk to each other with respect is minimal. This is what we have to do even with our worst enemies. We see that in the Quran we have conversation between God and even Satan or people of hell. Conversation between good people and bad people. Or a very important case is when God asked Moses to go and visit Pharaoh and speak to Pharaoh. And when he asked for several things, and God said that your requests are granted, then God said, you and Aaron go to speak to Pharaoh, and even told them how they should speak. قُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَىٰ. Speak in a soft manner to Pharaoh, because Pharaoh is already arrogant, and if you want to be speaking harshly, it's not going to work. If you speak softly, maybe it works, maybe he remembers his Lord. So speaking is very important, but it's very little. We Muslims and Christians should not be happy and satisfied that we have dialogue with each other. This is too little. For example, someone asks, what is the situation in your family? You say, my mother and father, they talk to each other. Is this good? Is this enough? Or I talk to my siblings. It's not that we don't talk. This is too little. We need to aim at something higher. And for us, Muslims and Christians, I think nothing would be enough unless we are able to collaborate for the sake of God. We need to work together, to cooperate. This is a little bit satisfactory. But even this is not enough. We need to be united under God. So we can have dialogue and tolerance. We can have dialogue and collaboration. But we can have dialogue and collaboration and unity. And this is what we want. So, in order to understand better the significance of unity, I normally first start with talking about unity of God. Because unless you understand how important it is to believe in one God, you cannot understand why human beings should be united. In other words, unity of mankind is reflection, is a requirement of having one God. So we have to understand that there is one God for all of us, and then we need to unite. And sometimes I ask this question. I say, if God cannot unite us, what else can unite us? We said we all share the same God. Okay, if God cannot unite me, what can unite me with you? You say language, can unite. But we have people who say the same language, they kill each other. Ethnicity cannot unite us. Even blood relation cannot unite us. Abel and Cain, they were brothers. It is God who can perfectly unite us. Yes, we can unite if we are well-oriented to some level, to a lesser degree, because of our shared humanity, because of, I don't know, heritage, culture, family relations, etc. But the only thing that can make us perfectly united is God. And if you really follow God, you can be united with whoever is following God. And if the both parties don't follow God, or one of them doesn't follow, they cannot be united. So, one God, one humanity. I remember in 2004, when Kiara Lubick for the last time visited the UK. So at that time I was in Iran, and my Focolare friends invited me to go to London to speak. I was one of the two guest speakers. One was a lady from India and one was me. So I had about 7 minutes to talk, and it was in the Methodist Church in Westminster in London. And there were about 2,200 people. It was broadcast live. And it was her last visit. So I was thinking, what should I say in 7 minutes in this important meeting? And I wrote something and then tried to, take time and see how much it takes, etc. And then every word which could be removed was removed. Anyway, it became something very concise. I mentioned something about harmony among religions and scriptures. I told Chiara that how I have found unity among Focolare in every place in the world that I traveled. I congratulated her for her achievement under God's provision. And then at the end, I made this prayer. And because I had to, choose words carefully, so that prayer remained in my mind. Let us hope and pray that soon all wounds of injustice and hostility would be healed by return of global society to God. This is very important. And unity of God will be echoed in unity of mankind. So I wrote this, and it was in my mind, but I appreciated this more and understood it better when we started Wings of Unity. And when we chose as the topic for the first round, unity of God and unity in God. Now, going back, I understand unity of God being echoed in unity of mankind is possible, and it is the only thing that God would be pleased with, that we should establish unity under God. So I have a presentation here, but time is very short, so I don't talk much about the significance of unity of God in Islam. And many things can be said about monotheism in Christianity. So I just go to the second part of my presentation. But those who are interested, my lectures on unity of God and unity of God, even in Tangaza from previous years, are available. The book Unity of God and Unity of God is available on Shomali.net. You can read the whole book. So I move on to the second part. What we understand from the Quran is this. God wanted human beings to be united around the truth, around guidance. But He has not forced His plan. Okay? If God wanted, He could have made all of us the same. He could have produced human beings who would be the same from every aspect. He could mass produce us. But when it comes to our physical creation, He decided that He would create us in different colors, different races, different tribes and nations, different genders. Why? The Quran says, لِتَعَارَفُوا, so that you can better relate to each other, better identify each other. If we were all looking the same, the life was not possible. And even if it were possible, it would be boring. You meet all people like robots, looking the same. Even robots are not made in the same way. So this beautiful diversity that we see in the creation of mankind was for a purpose. And that was to better relate to each other, to better identify each other, to better work together. But unfortunately, we didn't understand. We thought God has made us in different colors, different races, because some of us are better than the others. Because we can then be superior to others. We can enslave others. We can bring others under our control because our color is different. This color is better than that color. This race is better, or this gender is better than that gender. So we totally missed, I'm not saying everyone, but I mean in the course of history as human beings, we have missed the whole point of creation in diversity. Diversity was to make us better family, but we used it as a reason to fight. But when it comes to His guidance, not creation, what we call in Islamic tradition, legislation, in His revelation, God sent the same message through different prophets. They spoke different languages because they spoke to different nations. And every prophet, every messenger spoke the same language of the people that he was sent to. And His plan was that we will be united. But then again, we didn't get the point. We thought God has sent different prophets with different messengers because God has different plans. Or one religion comes and abrogates another religion. We are the only guided community. The other communities are not guided. So what was supposed to bring unity, we didn't understand. And we started fighting. Even followers of the same prophet or messenger, after he passed away, started fighting. What did he really teach us? So there was a division before the prophet came, and he brought unity, then again another division. So unfortunately, God makes attempts to unite us, and we fail and we divide ourselves. But He wants us to be united voluntarily. This is the key point. Quran says, لَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَجَعَلَهُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. Had He wanted, He would have made us one united nation. Not united nations, united nation, one nation. جَعَلَهُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. One community. He was able to create us like that. Or لو شاء الله لجمعهم على الهدى. Had He wanted, He would have guided all of them, and they would be united around the guidance and the truth. But God offers us this plan and says, it's up to you. You have to implement God's plan for unity. God has not forced his plan, and no one else is able to do what God didn't want to do. If you bring all weapons of the world, all money of the world, all the resources of the world to unite people, you cannot unite people unless they want. This is something that needs love, sacrifice. This is something through heart. So no one can force people to unite. But we can all work hard to inspire each other, to help each other to work for unity. And sooner or later, God is going to help us to achieve universal fraternity. I believe this world would not end unless we would have universal fraternity. We would have united humanity. But how long this is going to take? It can take too long if we are not working hard. And it can happen very quickly. So it's up to us to work together. Whoever is religious, whoever is devoted to God, one of the things that they have to always check and evaluate themselves about is, am I a voice for unity? Am I an instrument for God to establish unity? Or am I a voice for division? Or I am neither doing that nor the other. The only option acceptable is to work for unity. It's impossible that we say we work for God, but we don't bother about his people. Are they fighting or, not fighting? It's impossible. Can you say to any father or mother, I love you, I do everything I can for you, but I don't bother about your children. Let them kill each other. I just love you. I can make, best house for you. Your children, let them kill each other. Or let them just boycott each other. It's impossible. No father and mother would be happy if the children are not kind to each other, are not united with each other. Let alone someone says, I know that my father said I have to kill my brothers and sisters in his name. How can we say to God, in your name I kill the rest of the family of humanity? It's impossible. This is ridiculing yourself to think that by discriminating against other human beings and depriving them of their rights, you can get closer to God. It's ridiculous. So the only way to please God is to move towards him, and the best things that you can do if you want to move towards him is take the hands of other people and help them in their journey towards God. Make the journey for them a peaceful journey, a loving journey, enjoyable journey. Reduce their pain, reduce their suffering. If I see you are concerned about my children, about my family, I know you love me. But if you make my statue and put in every, square in the world, but you don't bother about my children, my community, my family, I say, no, you are not honest. So God is exactly expecting the same from us. There can be differences. We are not saying all people are the same. We don't say all religious people are the same. Maybe God has more love for some people because they are more virtuous, etc. But God has love for all. God has concern for all. and God wants us to care for all. This is the bottom line. So, when we started Wings of Unity in April 2016, try to do is to understand better, bringing important topics for reconsideration and see what we can do to establish unity among believers, to bring unity of God into unity of humanity. And thanks to God, we have discussed many important topics. We have had many workshops for the youth. We have had many different weeks of unity in different parts of the world. And also, from more than 2 years ago, we started a new project. So before that, what we were doing was to teach our seminarians and those who study with me online, to introduce to them this idea of dialogue, Christian-Muslim relations, to bring them to Tangaza, to send them to Italy, to Sofia, etc. We have been visiting Monte, a place for Mariapolis, in Switzerland many times. We have been to Brazil, we have been to Argentina. So there has been a very consistent plan to introduce this kind of understanding to our younger generations of seminarians and scholars, etc., and community in diaspora. We said everyone who comes to our institute in Qom should come to Tangaza for a month and then Mariapolis Piero to experience this. But more than 2 years ago, in March 2024, we started another project. So this is to show you how we have taken this seriously. This is not something we hear and then we forget. So we said now we need to train some people to especially undertake working for establishing relations between Christians and Muslims. And because our relation with the Catholic Church is also very important for us, with Focolare is very important. So one group started learning Italian. They already know English, they speak Farsi, they know Arabic. But we said, this group has to learn Italian. So it's now more than 2 years they are studying Italian, and they have reached C1. They are soon taking their official exam for B2. They have been twice to Italy, and they have studied every page of Gospel and Psalms with a Christian teacher, with Dr. Robbie Young. They have studied catechism, they have studied Catholic theology, they have studied with Focolare professors, and God willing, they are going to start their PhD in Sofia from next academic year. So this is the level of our dedication. That now we are not introducing this as part of the formation for all our students. We are especially form some people to continue this relation with Christians. And another group, they study Christianity the same, but they have been learning for more than 2 years Kiswahili, so that they can work with Christians in Africa, like Mahdi Mirdar, whom you know well. And he has been here actually for now almost 2 months in Tangaza. So we want to have a generation of seminarians that are very confident about their own faith, but at the same time very appreciative of Christianity. They know the culture, the religion, the spirituality of Christianity. They know the language, they know the sources, they have studied under them, so that they can be in future continuing this job, God willing. And we will not be stopping, and we will not be satisfied as long as we are able to breathe. unless we work for establishing this unity and paving the way for coming of Jesus and Imam Mahdi. Because we believe that we would not have the honor of welcoming them unless people are ready. If people are not ready when they see Jesus and Imam Mahdi together, Christians will lose their faith in Jesus. They say, how can be Jesus and not asking Muslim Imam to be baptized? How can you work together? And they would say, Imam Mahdi, you have to first convert Jesus to Islam and then work together. So we have to be ready for having unity in that very high level. I was telling people, are you mentally ready to see one day the Pope and Grand Ayatollah working together in the same office? Are you mentally ready to see that the Pope and Grand Ayatollah regularly meet, discuss, share ideas, plan together, share resources? We are not ready for that. And when the Pope Francis decided to visit Grand Ayatollah Sistani in Najaf, I thought that was a historical moment in that direction. We prayed hard that that can happen, because remember that was difficult time of COVID and lack of security, but Pope Francis was very dedicated, and I heard that he had said, even if it cost me my life, I have to go. So, but that was one visit, which was historical. We need to reach the point that the Pope and Ayatollahs work together. Bishops, Protestant, Orthodox, Catholics, Muslim Imams work together. And then we would be seeing that humanity is united. So I would like to request Professor Benny Kalibat, a very good friend of mine, to share with us his ideas and the manuscript that he is working on. He has been, yes, two of our sisters are going for another program, so inshallah we'll meet you right there. So I request Father Professor Benny to come, and this would be the last part of our program, and then we will have the closing session and giving of certificates, etc. Please.
Take your seat.
Come sit here.
Thank you.
Do you need that computer?
No.